Hi everyone, welcome to CST 206 operating system video lecture. Coming to methods of handling deadlock. Basically there are three important methods which are used to handle the deadlock. Methods are deadlock prevention, deadlock avoidance, deadlock detection and recovery. We will covering these points through this video. Deadlock prevention and deadlock avoidance. We cannot say this method is best or this method is not good. See, it depends. We will discuss it. First of all, see what is deadlock prevention. It means prevent deadlock from occurring. Do something that deadlock will never occur. Maybe using some techniques or apply some set of protocol such that deadlock will never occur in the system, so that obviously you can say that this method is best. If you prevent the deadlock from occurring, then obviously this method is best. But problem with this method is what lot of efforts will be needed to write down code, how to prevent deadlock, and obviously that cost is very much cost in the sense like in the case of time complexity and space complexity. So we cannot say that always prevention method is best. Sometimes avoidance method is also good. Next method is deadlock avoidance. That is, avoid the deadlock. This is something kind of a futuristic approach. In the case the system maintains that process will need how many resources to complete its execution. Fine. And when any process requests some resources, then system check that if that request has been fulfilled with the resources which are available. Then if system goes after fulfilling that request, the system goes to unsafe state, then operating system will not fulfill that request, and after fulfilling that request of the process, the system still in state safe state, then the process, then that operating system will be fulfill that request. We will discuss this case in detail. Deadlock prevention. See, we know that four necessary conditions for occurring deadlock, that is mutual exclusion, hold and wait, non-permission, and circular wait. Now, violate any of the four conditions of any time and deadlock can be occurred in the system. So, try to prevent any one of the four necessary conditions for deadlock. Now, how to prevent deadlock? If suppose you design a system in such a way that anyone, at least one out of four conditions cannot hold in the system, then you cannot say that deadlock will never occur in the system. I'm not saying that not all four conditions have to fail. At least one condition, just violate at least one condition from four necessary conditions, and then at at any time you can say that deadlock will never occur in the system. So first condition was mutual exclusion. So you cannot say that first point is removal of mutual exclusion. You have to remove mutual exclusion. Now what is mutual exclusion? No resources can be shared more than one process at a time. At least one resources in the system should not shareable. It must hold for non-shareable resources. While process is using a resources, no other process can use the same resources. How to remove mutual exclusion? Make all the resources shareable, but that is not so easy and almost impossible. That is in implement. We cannot implement this method. We cannot make all the resources shareable because some resources are inherently non shareable. Because some resources you cannot make those resources shareable, like printer, that is not shareable resource. Although in the case of printer, spooling method can be used. What is spooling method? Spooling is a process in which data is temporarily held to be used and executed by a device, program, or the system. Memory which is associated with the printer takes job from the old the process, fine, and after that printer will collect all the jobs and print one by one in first come first serve. So process need not to wait for the printer. Process can do so, that is spooling basically. But spooling is also a technique which cannot be applied to every resources. So we can make some resources shareable, and for some resources to used by more than one process at one time, then maybe some very serious kind of problem may arise in the performance of the system. This is basically not feasible to implement the removal of a mutual exclusion. Example for spooling methods: a printer file for updates CD, and second technique was hold and wait. So you can you have to fail that condition. So you can say second condition is removal of hold and wait, or you can say not hold and wait, or negation of a hold and wait. Now how to remove this technique, how to fail the hold and wait? First of all, what is hold and wait? A process must be holding at least one resources and waiting to acquire additional resources that currently being held by other process. Process is holding some resources and requesting for another resources. So or you can say waiting for some another resources. Fine, that is hold and wait. So you have to make sure that when a process is requesting for some resources, then that process is not holding any resources. Now how to ensure that the things, there are three methods. First one is process must acquire all the necessary resources before execution start. Then uh, its drawback of this approach is resources utilization would be very low. Second thing, this kind of approach is practically not feasible to implement. Why so? Because it's starting only process need to acquire all the resources it need for its execution, but it is almost too impossible to know how many resources that the process will need for its execution, for completing the execution. So that see practically will not possible. This approach is not implement and practically not feasible. Then second thing is a process hold some resources and requisition for additional resources, then it must release the acquired resources first. That then the drawback of this condition is starvation problem. That is now again and again then things happens if I have a laptop, then I have to release printer. A printer is taken for some other process, fine. When I request for the printer, then I have to release laptop. Now if printer, then I have to make request for the laptop, fine. So this kind of thing may happen. Maybe you have to that one process now to release its resources many times, and maybe it is a case that one it having maybe many of resources, and suppose process is 10 resources and it need one more resources. Now before that additional request, it has to release all the 10 resources. Now maybe after again process request, and the process is not able to get so many resources at the same times, so many times that process has to release its resources. So starvation problem can be there. So third approach is wait time out. You allow one process holding some resources and waiting some other resources, but here the condition is you just make that time out. That example, that I have a laptop, fine, now I am holding the laptop and I want to request for the printer. Now no one need to release the laptop, but I can wait for the printer for limited amount of time. That is to be set, and suppose that time is for that 10 minutes, so I cannot hold the laptop and I can wait for the printer for 10 minutes only. If within the 10 minutes I got the printer, then I it is best is I will get the laptop else and a printer also, I can do my work. But if that timeout expires, then I have to release all the acquired resources. I have to release my laptop also, fine. So there would be a timeout on the way. That is what is known as wait timeout. The process can hold something, can hold some resources, can wait for another resources for some timeout. within that timeout the resources work the resources for which it is working. So next is removal of permission. Non-permission means you cannot forcefully take any resources from process. Fine. But now you have to remove non-permission means we can forcefully take any resources from a process, but from which process you can take from a writing process, not from a running process, right? Fine. This kind of approach is used for higher priority processes. System process maybe sometimes process is there and that process needs some resources. Fine. Obviously system process are having highest priority, so people who do not want to that because of these resources that system process got blocked, so we permitted and deadlock is there resources from some low priority process and keep these resources to that system process. So this is known as permission technique. So that so this technique is basically higher priority process where you can say system process. So for higher priority process, this permission technique can be applied not for all the process. Now what is in the technique removal of non-permission? See, resources can be permitted from a process. This technique will be applied for higher priority process in process. So you can say for system process, what are the technique? One technique is process holding some resources and requesting for another resources that cannot be immediately allocated. Then all the required resources will be permitted. We cannot give that requested resources to that process at particular amount of time. Then what will happen, the process, then all the resources of all the acquired resources of that process will be permitted. Same scenario which we can discuss in the circular way. Second technique is process request a resources. If that resources is available, then that would be allocated. If that resources is not available, then we will not check in why this resources is not available. If that particular resources are located to some other process which is also waiting state, which is also in writing state, then what will happen, that that particular resources will permitted from the process and we will be given to this process. Now how what the funda is always the waiting process will be treated as with we can only permitted resources from waiting process, not from the running process. As you can see here, see, if that resources is available, then allocated. If not available, we will check if particular resources, then waiting process will be treated as a victim. We can permit resources from waiting process, not from running process. My so this is the funda is of removal of non-permission technique. This is not non-permission. Now next one is removal of circular way. Now what is circular wait? The processor waiting in a circle like this. Suppose P1 is requesting for R1 and R1 is requesting with the P2 and the P2 is requesting for R2 and R2 is held by P1. This is what circular wait. So you have to remove circular wait. How to How the circular weight can be removed? Simple. Each resources will be assigned with a numerical number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. And after assigning the number, just make sure that process can be request the resources increasing or decreasing order of a number. In the case increasing order is followed, if a process requires a lesser number resources, then it must release all the resources having large number. Then just make sure that process can request the resources in either strictly increasing order or strictly decreasing order, and every resources is assigned some number. So here problem of an implementation of this technique, what, see, if very difficult to determine the relative for bring of different resources, many resources are there, and how to determine the no that relative ordering of these resources. So this is very tough, although it is in implement, uh, although it is implement, we can remove the circular weight, just assign a number integer or even say priority to each resources, and make sure that process can only request the resources in increasing order, strictly increase or allow strictly decreasing order. Then there would not be circular weight, never there would be circular weight. Let us take an example. See, point of time, this P2 can be decreased R2 because can request all the resources greater than 1 2 3 4 like this, and suppose R2 is with the R2 is with the P1, then suppose P1 is holding R2, uh, can P1 request for R1? No, why? Because P1 is holding R2, so we can, if cannot request any resources is less, then so that is why we cannot put that this edge. If will not put that edge, then there will not be circular weight. So you can take any other example. If this kind of totally ordering, there will not be circular weight. So this is all about deadlock prevention technique. Now we will discuss deadlock avoidance technique. That now deadlock avoidance is a technique is used to avoid deadlock. It her main funda is that additional information, or you can say that prior information, only you have prior information, this only you can avoid the deadlock. That is, it requires information about how different process would request different resources. So logic applied here in the operating system to avoid deadlock. Here what kernel or what system will do, system maintains some additional information, or you can say that database. If this database what now would be about obviously deadlock, uh, and to avoid deadlock, or you can say system maintains some database using which it can take decision whether to entertain a request or not, just to be in a safe state. Here is two kind of state. We have safe state and unsafe state. See the diagram. Sometimes like this, this one is safe state and this one is unsafe state. In this system, two kind of state, safe state and unsafe state. And in unsafe state, in unsafe state, we have deadlock. So, if your system is in safe state, you can say that you can if in if your system is in safe state, you can say this would not be deadlock. But this system is in unsafe state. Uh, but this system in unsafe state, there you can say that deadlock may come, and unsafe state does not mean that system is having deadlock. Sometimes maybe system in unsafe state, but deadlock will not occur sometimes. System in unsafe state and deadlock occurs, so you can say that unsafe state may lead to deadlock. Fine. So so you can say that in deadlock avoidance kernel, or you can say that system analyze the database in allocation system state to determine whether granting a request can lead to deadlock in future. If not lead to deadlock, then granted. Otherwise, keep pending until they are be granted. In future, also in immediately also it analyze the database. When new requests come, when processes request for some resources, then kernel analyze having some database within it, and kernel will check database and null database and it granted. If if system is in getting in safe state, then does not happen deadlock. If system is getting in unsafe state, then maybe occur deadlock. If ensure that system will never occur in the going to enter an unsafe state, then avoidance is getting. Now, drawback of this is what maybe that process will have to wait for a long amount of time. So now we are going to discuss the algorithm for deadlock avoidance. Basically, there are two algorithms. One is deadlock avoidance using resources allocation graph algorithm, and another one is Banger's algorithm. So in this video, I will discuss with you how to avoid deadlock with resources allocation graph algorithm. So we know resources allocation graph. So resources allocation graph is what? Graph is having set of vertices and set of edges. And so set of vertices consists of two type, that is set of process and set of resources, and set of edges is also two type of request edge and assignment edge. But this system uh, but this in this system a new edge called claim edge in addition to assignment edge and requested, that is main resources allocation graph maintains a graph with a directed edge from each process to each resources to it might request, and it allocated resources reverse the edge direction. It released resources returned the edge to its original direction. It The algorithm allocates a resources only if it can do that without creating a cycle in the group. This is all about resources allocation graph. We say that a new type of edge called claim edge in addition of assignment and requested PIRJ to it's indicate the process may PI may request resources RJ at some time in the future. When actual request is made, claim edge is converted into request edge. When resources is released, assignment edge is converted to claim edge. So let us take an example. Here we have two resources, and one more thing. This algorithm is what? See, this resources allocation graph only having only one instant of resources, and having multiple instant in the case we will use Banger's algorithm. From here we have one instant of R1 and one instant of R2. Now suppose this is given P1 is holding R1, R1 is waiting for P2. P2 is holding R2, and P1 is waiting for R2. It means we know that P1 is this is the claim edges. Uh, It means we know that P1 can request R2 in the future. P2 can also request R2 in the future. But right now, they are not requesting. Those request R2. Now suppose sometimes P2 request R2. Now P2 is requesting for R2. So process is what? Edge should be converted into request edge. And right, R2 is free. Yes or no? Because this is claim edge. This R2 can be allocated to this P2, then the request edge would be converted into assignment edge. But the kernel will not granted this request. Although resources is free, still kernel will not grant the request of P2. Why so? Because this granting the request right now, deadlock may arise in the future. And now you can come to know that because after fulfilling this request, this edges would be converting into assignment edge. would be converted into assignment judge, then there would be a circular way. That is, you can say the cycle. There would be cycle in allocation graph. This one future, if suppose P1 is requesting for uh, R2, so that this would be converted into requested, so this lead to deadlock. See, this is a cycle, fine. That is why kernel will not grant this request. That is, ensure there is no cycle in the graph. If no cycle exists, resources allocation will lead to a safe. If cycle exists, resources allocation will lead to an unsafe state. So here deadlock have been avoided, but problem is what resources is available is free, but still you have are not allocating these resources to any process. Fine. This problem is this case, so that all about the resources allocation graph. Well, next video conclusion, deadlock prevention. Video conclusion. In this video we discuss about deadlock prevention, removal of mutual exclusion, removal of hold and wait, removal of non-permission, removal of circular wait, deadlock avoidance, safe state and unsafe state, resources allocation graph algorithm. Thank you.